Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Harakal Kadash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and Shalom to the hopeful elect. His lesson's called Just Teach. Alright. And really comes off the back of some news that came out, which I ain't gonna delve into. But more or less from the title, that's the main point, that what we're to do is to teach, right? That's why we've been sent here. Okay, we're the prophets of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Harakal Kadash. Being a prophet, we've been chosen from the beginning, and this is from before we arrived upon the earth, was in the spiritual realm. And as Jeremiah was told, like in Jeremiah the 1st chapter, before I formed thee in the belly I knew thee. All right, and I've basically sent you forth to be a prophet unto the nations. So basically, with that being told to Jeremiah, Isaiah was told the same thing. Ezekiel, all the prophets basically, when you go through those books, they're more or less given the same information to go forth and teach His word. All right. So the Most High ordained them to be prophets, just like Kobe Bryant was ordained to be a great basketball player, or LeBron James, or you have different athletes or different engineers or different inventors. They were appointed for that. That's their lot, as Daniel was told that he'd come back in his lot in the last days, because everything, the Most High allotted all these different spirits to do said things, okay, which He has appointed them. So now, the word prophet, what does it mean? It means to say before, okay? Pro meaning before, and fet basically meaning to say before. So our whole job is to say what's going to happen before, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, for His glory, okay? It's not of our own words, it's for us to be a mouthpiece of who? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Harakal Kadash, to make it known that His word, when it goes out, it doesn't go out void, all right? As it tells you in Isaiah 55 and 10 and 11, it says He formed all of these great things. And for that, you're to know that His word doesn't go out void, because ultimately His word was what made everything in the first place. Okay, so when He says something, it's going to go forth and accomplish it. So that's why we're here to prophesy the downfall of this kingdom. As Jeremiah 28 and 8, every time a prophet was sent forth, what did they do? They prophesied the downfall of that said kingdom. All right, and that's why it was a fearful thing when the prophets popped up for those that had the fear of the Lord upon them. Okay, an example of that is in the book of 1 Samuel, when Samuel was ruling over the nation of Israel, the last judge, and who basically swore, coronated King David, all right, to be ruler over the nation of Israel after Saul. Okay, when he was actually going through that process, the elders of the city came to him, and they came with great fear, and basically said, like, do you come in peace, basically, in a roundabout way? And he basically said, yeah, because they knew that the prophets had a great, like, their word was the word of the Heavenly Father. They were the mouthpiece of the Heavenly Father. So they were to be feared and revered, okay? So that's the reason why we had the powers in our words. It's not in nothing physical, nothing like this. Power is in the words, and the words is not of our own words. It's the words of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. All right? So, let me read this. Is Isaiah 34 and 1. Come near, ye nations, to hear. To hear what? The word of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Okay? Hearken ye people, let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world and all things that come forth of it. So this word is to be spoken to everyone, okay? Everyone needs to hear these words, because the Most High is letting them all know what's going to happen. So when it does come to pass, the greatness and the power of ultimately Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, but also secondly, the power of His nation, His chosen nation, the nation of Israel, the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, and all of our descendants scattered throughout the world. That's really to also put reverence on His monument, being Zion. Okay, that word Zion goes back to the Lashon Kodash to Zion, which means monument. All right, and a monument is what? It is something it's a memorial. It's a site of remembrance, to remember something. And Zion, or the nation of Israel, the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, are to be a remembrance, a memorial unto the Heavenly Father. So that's really our glory is rooted in the glory of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Okay, so it says everyone needs to hear these words, and it even says all things that come forth of it. All right, so everything in the world, the trees got hair, everything's got hair, man, and they be waiting, man. Verse 2, for the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He have utterly destroyed them, he have delivered them to the slaughter. And that's why they need to hear all these words. Because why do they need to, excuse me, why do they need to hear these words? Because ultimately the end is going to come. Okay, and it basically regards them, okay? Because they've had all nations upon the earth had their part to play in doing harm to the Heavenly Father's chosen people, okay? So they need to hear, Salaki, they need to hear their judgment as well, because they're gonna have a part to play in the end, basically. So bear with me 1 second. Okay, so anyway, moving on. So we're the prophets of Yahweh Hashem Yoshai, and that's what we ain't here to get physical, carnal. That ain't why we're here. We're here to be the mouthpiece of the Heavenly Father. That's it. That's for His glory, not our own glory. The Lord didn't tell it. The Lord said, "Wait ye upon me until I rise to the prey," because basically, Acts chapter 5 tells you, man, that different men rose up to rebel against the powers that be. But Romans the 13th chapter tells you to respect the powers because the Most High ordained them. Tells you that He putteth up one and putteth down another, and that's in the power of the Lord. So if the said rulers are ruling at that time, you gotta roll with it, man. That's it. That's what it is. The Most High ordained it. Okay. So that's why we're the mouthpiece of the Lord. Our power is in our words. Okay. So this is Matthew 10. Gonna read from verse 16 down to 20. All right. Okay. So it reads, "Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves." All right. Now sheep, they're docile creatures. All right. The word docile goes, but the root word of docile basically means in the Latin means teach, I believe, or learn, or something to that effect, because basically sheep are just ready to learn, more or less. But that readiness means that they have their guard down, because they're they're ready. Not ready in a sense of they want to war or whatever. It's more of a thing where it's just, I can't even, for lack of just as it was said, they're just ready to learn. Okay, I know there's a way I want to define it, but it's escaped me at this moment. But all the sinful is sheep in the midst of wolves. Okay, and those wolves are the wicked Israelites. Okay, be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. Right, so we have to use wisdom amongst in this situation, this scenario that we're in. Why? Because we're harmless as doves. We don't have no strength or power. Okay, now even if you got big muscles, or some martial arts, or you might even know how to shoot a gun, ultimately those powers really are the powers of Esau. Okay, and you do that, it tells you, it's going back to the mark of Cain, that basically if anyone takes vengeance upon him, that he will have it sevenfold upon them, man. I believe what it says in Genesis. Okay, so you try to make a move on Esau's gonna make a big example out of you. Reading on. But beware of men, for they will deliver you up to the councils, and they will scourge you in their synagogues. Okay? And ye shall be brought before governors and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them and the Gentiles. So that's where that goes into Isaiah 34:1. The reason why we're being brought forth before them is to be a testimony against them, right? To speak the words of Yahweh Shem Shai for his glory, okay, for his sake, to basically, pass a message on to let them know, as it says in Daniel's the 5th chapter, you've been weighed and found wanting, all right? The writings on the wall, basically. Because our power is really in what? 2 Corinthians, the 10th chapter tells you, man, that the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but spiritual. And basically this word being our sword, as it tells you in Hebrews, the 4th chapter. This is a discerner of spirits, basically. That's our power. We're going to be brought forth before the judges to give them their judgment, okay? That's why it tells you in Isaiah, the 13th chapter, go shake... I can't remember the banner, but basically that you may be brought to the gates of the nobles, shake the hand and establish the banner, something to that effect, so that ye may be brought before the gates of the nobles. That's why we're prophesying, okay? That's why we're teaching. We're constantly going over this doctrine over and over again, going over these videos, going through the spirit, deciphering everything to do with the news and whatnot, is to bring forth this prophecy and preparing us for when we get brought before. And even with these videos, we're going before the gates of the nobles because they're watching these videos, okay? And you shall be brought before governors and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them and the Gentiles. All right? But when they deliver you up, take no thought how and what you shall speak, for it shall be given you the same hour what you shall speak. All right? Because, hey, why are we going to think what to think? Because to speak, Jeremiah 17:9 tells you that the heart is desperately wicked. All right? But if you go in the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai, as Moses was told to do, Moses was told by the Yahweh Shem Shai, who made the mouth, man. And basically said, I'm going to tell you what you're going to say. I'll put my words in your mouth. All right? So, but when they deliver you up, take no thought how or what ye shall speak, for it shall be given you in the same hour what ye shall speak. For it is not ye that speak, but the Spirit of your Father which speaketh in you. All right? And that's ultimately what it's going to be. It's the Spirit of the Heavenly Father speaking through us. So if you ain't speaking in this spirit of what Yahweh Shai spoke to speak of, if you're speaking about doing harm to various people, that's not in line with the scriptures. Okay? That is not in line with the scriptures. This is what the Most High, Yahweh Shem El Shai, Ba'Shem HaRakah Kadash, has ordained for us to be. It's Jeremiah 16:16. And it reads, Behold, I will send for many fishers, saith the Lord. Okay? Now, when the Lord came on the scene, what did he do? When he went to gather up the men that was going to serve him, he found Simon and Peter and Andrew. Okay, first come across them and told them, look, man, like, follow me and I'll make you fishers of men. And then afterwards he came across James and John and said the same thing. They were mending their nets and said, follow me. And basically they were made fish. What were they going to do? They're going to fish for men. This being the word being the hook, the bait that's going to attract the elect men onto this word, all right? And even the word being a net, okay? Many are called, but few are chosen. Many are going to be called into this thing, but few are going to be chosen. As it tells you in the parable of Matthew, the 13th chapter, it tells you about the net that was cast into the sea and when they brought the net onto the shore, it had all forms of clean and unclean fish, basically. And that the clean was put into vessels and the unclean was cast away. And that was symbolizing the end. When the Lord comes and the angels gather up the elect, and the rest that are not of the elect going to be thrown into darkness, fire and darkness, man. Okay? So behold, I was sent for many fishers, saith the Lord. So that's what the Lord's saying. He's going to send for many fishers. And that's our role, okay? We're coming instead of the disciples as he showed them for an example, okay? The book of Ecclesiastes tells you for every time there is a season. Ecclesiastes 3:1 tells you for everything there is a season and a time, okay? And we're in a time presently of fishing, okay? For think about it. When Peter, the fisher of men, when Yahweh Shai was taken up, was basically betrayed by Judas, okay? When he was betrayed by Judas, Peter didn't want it to go down. And it's funny because when you think about it, Peter said that it wouldn't happen, and the Lord rebuked him because there was a demon on him, because basically he was coming against the words of prophecy the Heavenly Father was speaking, okay, through Yahweh Shai. He was saying that ain't gonna happen. Well, you got a demon on you if you're saying that. But anyway, point being, he now more or less done the same thing by cutting off Malchus's ear, okay, and basically trying to fight with his sword, and Yahweh Shai basically said, look, man, put that sword up in your sheath, and he healed Malchus. He gave Malchus back his ear. But what you gotta remember is prior to that happening, in the book of John, when they said who they were looking for, when Yahweh Shai said, what do you look for? And they said Yahweh Shai, basically, he turned around and said, I am he. And they all fell down. All right. Showing you that what had power in that situation wasn't Peter's sword cutting off Malchus's ear, because Yahweh Shai healed him. It was the fact that Yahweh Shai words through the Spirit put them on their arse. Okay. That's showing you this. When you look at that example, it's a spiritual example to show you that Yahweh Shai had power in his words, in the force of the words that was being spoke. I am he. All right. For you to believe that he is who he's saying, you have to have faith to believe in that. And it showed power in the fact that he said it. And that's why you should have faith in the fact that he said it. Okay. Not in the fact that, not when, as you could see, compared to when Peter cuffed the air, there was no power in that. Okay. But anyway, reading on. Behold, I will send for many fishers, saith the Lord, and they shall fish them. And afterward I send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill and out of the holes of all the rocks. Okay, and that's gonna happen when the destruction goes down. Okay, because ultimately, for you to be able to do that, it says, wait ye until I rise up to the prey. Yahweh Shai has to make a move first. So even Esau, that's trying to depict us as some form of terrorists, and you dumb niggas out there making empty threats, man, you're a donut, man, because now you're falling into the trap. Because the Lord has to rise up. And Esau knows to sell what we're saying, he needs to create a violent kind of portray that violent stereotype, and also, what's the other thing? Perpetuate that we're about doing violence. We're making threats, and we want to do these things. We can't do. That's not our power, man. What we're saying is, when Yahweh Shai arrives with the thousands in his heaven, angels, with UFOs, the chariots of Israel, we're gonna get busy, right? And if prior to that, any brother gets endowed with spiritual power to get busy, that's how it's gonna go. So we ain't saying nothing about rise up and gather God. No, we're talking about spiritual power. The Lord making us into Superman on earth. We're doing top like the eclectic level of mutants and super beings. That's the level of power that we're gonna have. All right, because ultimately we're the hand of the Heavenly Father. So for Heart of the Hills, or what I read in Jeremiah, this is the same thing that's gonna take place. Hunting from every hill. Amos 9 and 2. Though they dig into hell, then shall my hand take them. Okay, when they dig into hell, what's that talking about? It's talking about dumbs, deep underground military bases. Okay, where you can you can sustain your life underground. Basically, the elites have those things. Though they climb up to heaven, thence will I bring them down. So how's the Heavenly Father gonna do that? Is he gonna get off the throne and put his hand in the earth and pull them out? No. When he created the earth in the beginning, he sent forth Yahweh Shai and the angels. That's the same thing that's gonna happen in this time. We're going to round them all up. All right, as it tells you in the book of Ezekiel, the first thing they're going to do is they're going to destroy all their ICBMs. They're going to burn them. They're going to get rid of all the dead bodies, and they're going to go into 1,000 years of slavery, including the heathens. But then Esau, after that 1,000 years, is going to be made into a great bonfire, a great sacrifice unto Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai Ba'Shem HaRakah Kadosh. All right, and though they hide themselves in the top of Carmel, I will search and take them out thence. And though they be hid from my sight in the bottom of the sea, thence will I command the serpent, and he shall bite them. So that serpent is talking about Leviathan, or as you may know, Godzilla, to basically go down there and gather and take them out, root them out, and bring them ashore to do their to serve.